Hey,
Hey,
what's going down?
nothing.
We on the recovery pod?
Pod.
Question mark.
Hey, what's going down? You're on the little titty pod.
Got some little tids for you. But no, yeah, so I need to get this exact quote I wrote down, actually.
Sorry, we're not prepared.
Let me just feeling is flow, knowing is control. So I keep trying to know things, and knowing to me is security, and knowing to me is actually an attempt to find out is my attempt to control. Because instead of like allowing myself to be, which is feeling, allowing myself to feel myself, I keep trying to know myself. I keep looking at myself as some sort of a like computer like concept, as if I'm like a program. And I keep trying to figure out like the way that I'm programmed and where this is coming from and how it's being executed.
Yeah.
And all that gets me is it pushes me up to the point of just seeing myself as a victim. It doesn't let me go beyond that. It just sees, oh, there's an error. I see the where the error came from, and that's all I see, and I can't see past that because it doesn't let me that way. But if I just literally just, because I don't need to know these things. I don't need to know the reasons why I'm the way I am. Nobody does. That's my conclusion at this point, is because what is that going to give me? It doesn't give me anything. And I got to a point where I literally just need to allow myself to feel myself, like day-to-day basis. Being present with myself is, it's not thinking about what I know about myself. It's just allowing whatever is there and feel whatever is there. Because if I try to make sense of it, like, oh, well, I'm doing this because of that, that takes me away from the presence. And that puts me into the past. Like, oh man, I am acting this way right now because back then somebody said this mean thing to me, which causes me to be this way now. This error is coming from over this, and it's doing this. Like, that does not work anymore for me. Like, I keep just pushing myself farther and farther into just blaming everybody for the way I am. And the more I become like present with myself, the more I can feel that, I'm not helpless. Like, I am able to get control back. All I have to do is just feel whatever is there without judgment. Because the judgment part, the knowing part, the figuring out part is what puts me back farther, is what makes me more depressed, more down, more beating myself up. Because I'm like, damn it, like, I know these things, I know better, and I'm still this way. Well, because I'm not allowing myself to be this way. It's not because I know, like, the knowing doesn't matter. The knowing doesn't do anything. So, yeah.
Yeah, so like when someone is doing these things, they're analyzing their past, looking for patterns, reasons, and all that. Then they're obviously out of the present when they're doing that. But then also, when you're trying to know yourself, you're trying to label yourself based on how you might be in the future. You know what I mean? It's all kind of like a play to say, okay, what's the best way to know myself? So basically, I can predict what's going to happen later. But yourself is so ever changing. It's like it's like trying to put God in a box. That's like the first thing I think of when you were talking. Like, we're trying to put ourselves in a box with labels and defined characteristics and preset behaviors, but really we don't fit in a box. We are ever changing. We are human. I don't know, trying to put ourselves in that box, just trying to figure ourselves out. Huh?
Structuralize.
Oh, structuralize. I don't know, because whenever I try to make sense of anything, it has to do with everything but right now. Why am I the way I am? Why is the world the way it is? What is God? Definitely. Like, what is the exact answer? And for me, I always kind of get lost when I try too hard to think about it, mainly with a higher power or myself. But anything that my little peanut brain can't figure out in one sitting makes me completely lost, trying too hard to figure all of it out. Because I never just want to figure out one piece and I'm satisfied with it. I need to know how everything is. I need to know the meaning of life. I need to know, what the purpose of all these things are. And it's like so overwhelming to try to think about all at once. And a lot of these things just can't be expressed in words or put into that specific of a definition,
I just got hit with a wave of happiness.
Yeah.
Because I just literally now finally realized that I don't have to know. And all this time I thought I did.
I know I had when I got clean this time, because like before, I thought I knew. And I navigated based on the labels, right? Like, so I'd say, well, somebody needs my help right now. I want to help them. Like, I feel an urge and a desire to help them. But then I start overthinking it and I'm like, well, somebody screwed me over last time I tried to help them. So now I'm factoring that in. I'm thinking, well, I'm gonna stop being the guy who gets taken advantage of or used. You know what I mean? Even if this person's not trying to use me or take advantage of me. So I basically based a lot of my decisions off of how I should or would respond, not based on how I want to respond in that moment. You know what I mean? And I recognized that even though I still did it, I didn't see it as something that shouldn't be done or could not be done. But I did recognize that I was doing that. And this time around, I was like, I don't know. I don't have a preset response. You know what I mean? I'm not figured out because I change all the time. Like, I might do one thing today and I might do something different tomorrow. Now I'm pretty much in a, like a diameter. I'm not just going to go rob you tomorrow and then plant a tree today. But like, yeah, I'm not preset and I'm not defined by past or hypothetical future. I just go with the flow. And feeling the flow. Probably why I don't like to make a lot of plans, because feeling is flow and knowing. What was the rest of it? Yes, I'm going to save that one.
You're going to use that one against me every fucking time.
Just when you want to make plans.
So I guess we don't know if we're going to Eckhart Tolle. We're just going to feel with the flow that day of. Because you never know.
I don't know. Might end up in Alabama at a fucking hoedown.
If we're doing a hoedown, go to Florida. Just kidding. I was about to get off topic, but I'm not gonna do that. So
Is there a topic? You can get off topic. Just go with the
true.
flow.
So I was watching this video about the most popular foods in each state. Is it true that Florida is the most popular thing is Cuban sandwiches?
They're pretty popular. I never ate them a lot.
They got pickles on them, so.
It ain't the pickle. It's, I don't know, just, everybody's always like, oh, I'm going to get a Cuban. I'm like, oh, okay. Like,
I want a Cuban.
okay.
Anyways.
Remember when I was asking you, does Russia have things like tomatoes and lettuce?
I was saying most popular.
Do they have eggs over there?
Not do you guys have Cuban things?
Do you guys know what ketchup is? Nah, but like, one of these days I want to talk about higher power. Like, I don't know if we're off the whole knowing thing, but that kind of goes with the knowing. Like,
I have one more thing before we move on.
well, I already moved on.
Okay, well.
But I don't know where this is going, so we
All
can
right.
feel the flow back to
Let's feel
whatever. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, go back.
I don't know. I was just gonna reiterate everything you just fucking said because it was on point. But
Oh, damn.
yeah, so
I missed an ego stroke.
you don't have to ego stroke. You choose to. It wasn't meant like that. That's how you want to take it. So yeah, putting just everything in life into it, you know. So like, The Voice of Knowledge by Don Miguel Ruiz, right?
Right.
We got cursed with that knowing because we were fine before that. We were just going with the flow. We didn't know shit, and we were happy. We were just aware, observant, and just all we knew was love, right? But then once we started knowing standards, knowing expectations, knowing structure, knowing facts, like, that ruined us. And now, you know, when I first read that book, I'm like, knowing, okay, whatever, yeah, right. I just focused on the parts of, you know, your thoughts are telling you lies, your thoughts are lies, you know, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, yeah. But the main point of that book, it just now finally hit me because, like, you know, where are those thoughts coming from? The knowings of the fucking world, you know?
Right.
So my thoughts are forming due to my external, like, environment of the knowingness. That is the main source. And I don't have to believe in that. You know, and another thing that has happened to me the other day that I've observed that, you know, if I'm in a shitty mood, if I am not, you know, if I'm like really down on myself, I feel like I have to commit to it. I can't just stop and, like, you know, pull myself out. Like, I know I can, I want to, but something is telling me, no, you got to commit. So it's like that knowing that this is where I'm at right now. This is the structure I've put myself in. That I just, you know, this is just how it is. But it's not. Anytime I could just get up and change. I could do something, you know. It's the belief system that, you know, in the book Toltec of Secret to Happiness. Toltec Secret, whatever, where he's talking about changing our belief systems. We can't do it unless we just let go of the knowing, because we think what we know is the truth. So it's a curse to think what you know is the truth. You know?
I guess it all depends on what you let get in your head. You know, it's just like when people are like trying to tell you can't do something, you know, it's like, I believe I can do something, but then the world wants to tell me, oh, that's not a good idea, it's not safe, it's not smart, you can't do that. Like, if I'm like, hey, I want to move to California and become a rapper, like, they're going to be like, whoa, you're just going to quit your job? You're just going to, like, take this paycheck you have and go try to make your dream come true? Like, that's not realistic. That's not smart. And that's not wise. Like, and then you believe that, you know, and it's those types of thoughts, and not just, like, the big extreme ones like that, but, like, oh, you're never going to find anybody to care for you, or, you know, you're broken or whatever. Like, just the things either people say to us or we say to ourselves from our own little, like, self-pity beliefs, you know, they get so ingrained in there, and those become the thoughts that then become the beliefs that then, you know, put the actions in motion to basically live up to it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
the universe says yes. So if I'm a victim, if I think life sucks, life's gonna suck. If I think, you know, I'm destined for nothing, then I'm gonna move like I'm destined for nothing, and I'm gonna get nothing. And it all comes from the beliefs from wherever they come from, you know, and whether that's overly comparing ourselves to other people at a young age, to where we develop, you know, we kind of analyze ourselves and say, okay, I'm not that, so I'll never be that. Some people see like a dream and it seems reachable. They'll see like Justin Bieber and be like, "Oh, he did it. I can do that." And then some people will see him and be like, "Oh man, he's like 1 in a billion. I'll never be able to do that." Right?
Mm-hmm.
And it all depends on, yeah, what kind of energy you have with it, and blah blah blah, whatever.
My attempt to know
Mm-hmm.
is my attempt to control. So when I try to know instead of, you know, but like, because I try to know myself rather than feel myself.
Mm-hmm.
And when I feel myself instead of know myself, then I'm able to stay present with myself. So, should I repeat what I said last night? Are we gonna like just...
Oh, it'll be one of the little titties.
Okay. But yeah, like I was saying last night, like it just being continuously proven that knowledge is a fucking curse. Knowing, trying to know anything that has to know with like all that, the voice of knowledge, I mean, it's like, it's no good. There's no point to it. It's just an attempt to, you know, like, what is knowing going to give me? You know, what is knowing how things are going to go with anything in my life? How I'm going to be, you know, I'm just really trying to escape the present moment. But if I just get to know myself through feeling myself, that way I can stay present. I don't know.
Yeah, because when you're trying to know, right, you are trying to control the outcome in a way. You're trying to control your future self and how you're going to feel, right? And then you want to know because you want to manipulate.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I want to know what's going to happen, so I know then how I can alter it, or I can prepare myself for it, so I have the desired internal outcome I want, so I can handle it better because I want to control how I respond to that situation.
Yes.
So I can control my prediction of it. So you know what I mean? Like it's all about control. But then we lose ourselves because it's this, I don't know, this constant struggle to cement what isn't even formed yet. And like, yeah, I feel like this all kind of started from just randomly. Dude, I love how I just pick up these books randomly and just go to a page, random as hell. Like, open the book, flip the page, read. And then it was A New Earth, doing is not being, right? Like, a lot of people get caught up in doing and they forget about being. And I feel like that, and that was like a parenting one. That was like, oh, in parenting, it's about this. But then, like, I know we took from that the whole doing and being, and how we get so lost in trying to do and identify with what we do rather than just being and identifying with our presence and our attention and just being, you know? We're caught up with our accomplishments, we're caught up with our possessions, we're caught up with our titles, with our approval from other people, you know, which is all things to consider. Like, we have to navigate in the ego world. We have to understand that we are going to have possessions. We're going to be attached to them. We're going to make accomplishments. We're going to feel effects from them. It's not about not having any of these things. It's just understanding those are secondary. You know, the being is first.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the layer underneath or the space between, you know?
Yeah, but the whole, like, preparing thing, I realized, because I used to, like, I needed to be prepared for anything. I thought, like, thinking about the worst possible outcome, that will help me prepare and it'll make me feel better. But, like, why am I trying to control my future self, how I'll feel in the future? Why am I trying to, you know, and it doesn't matter what I prepare for, it's never gonna be, hell, it could even be something I wasn't even ever prepared for. There's no point in doing that because things are gonna happen exactly how they will. And, yeah, man, you were out of it yesterday. I'm out of it today.
Oh, fuck.
God damn it.
Man, this is just gonna be one of them floppy titties. where we flop our tidbits onto each other. Yeah, like, I don't know, I was so off of it yesterday. I don't know if I should try to save it or we should just end it.
No, you're fine. Just, do you have anything else to say?
I'm so full.
Same. Are you regretting the past?
Nah.
Okay.
I'm just paying for it with my present.
So, okay, here's another thing that's really hard to differentiate for people sometimes, including myself.
Okay.
So it's like, oh, I gotta think about, you know, the future. Like, so, you know, saving money, you know. I could, you know, I'm presently enjoying blowing $3,000 at the mall. But, like, what am I gonna do tomorrow? So that's thinking about the future. Now, then, you know, thinking about, you know, you gotta stay present or whatever. So, like, how would you differentiate those two things?
So I can relate this with doing drugs. I mean, if I'm gonna live for today, why not blow my paycheck on crack? It feels good right now. Why worry about how I'm going to withdraw tomorrow? Why worry about the lies I'm going to tell? Why worry about the future where I'm going to go down this spiral cycle and be lost in my addiction, you know? So it's presently, it's still wise to be aware that there is a future, right? It's wise to be prepared and, like, aware that there is going to be consequences to our actions, that choices are going to lead down a road. It's just the fact that we're not going to get lost in our heads and time travel to the past where we're, like, reliving scenarios that are painful and, like, causing us re-traumas, you know what I mean? Or we're getting lost into the future with these hypothetical imaginary things that are bringing us pain and suffering. So, yeah, I mean, we have to utilize our thoughts of the future and the past for multiple reasons. Like, walking down a dark alley. If I got mugged down one time, and then I'm walking down another alley with some sketchy looking people down there, I'm gonna drift into the past to be like, bruh, remember? Like, don't go down that alley. Oh yeah, dude. Or if I'm on top of a building and, like, man, this would feel dope to just fall right off of it. It'd feel great for, like, a minute. Mm-hmm. But then I go into the future and say, well, that splat's gonna suck, you know? So but no, I totally feel you, because I know once all this stuff first came to me, like all this presence and stuff, and I started reading about it, I'm like, well, fuck, like, of course my addict brain goes right to drugs. And I'm like, well, why, but why not just live in the moment? Why worry about tomorrow? The universe will provide. Like, nah, bro.
Well, yeah, I was just thinking as I was hearing you talk that the difference is when we do stuff like that, like using or buying, shopping, all that stuff is a form of an escape. So, you think that you're being present, but it's actually you unconsciously just taken off with trying to, escape your thoughts and feelings by the use of those things. I know, like, when I go shopping, it's like, my main focus isn't like, oh, I'm getting all the stuff here and it makes me feel better. Why can't I feel better without that? I'm just like taken off with that.
Right.
And same with drugs, it's the same concept. Why can't I just be present without that? Because I'm unconsciously just wanting to take off from myself and the entire world.
Well, I know for me, I just got to like check my motives. Like when I was on my little shoe kick, you know what I mean? I needed a pair of shoes. And I was like, all right, well, I'm going to buy some Jordans because like I've never allowed myself to spend, $100 or more on shoes. And then I'm like, well, yeah, I was a little obsessed and looking at all the sites and kind of
Still
going
upset?
down. Not as bad. It's better. It's tamed. I didn't even look on any of the sites today.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah, that's
no, I
right.
did look on one of them.
There it is.
So, but anyway, like, yes, in the beginning, I could feel the impulse. I could feel, like, the obsession, like, looking at all of them, wanting to spend, wanting to, like, not really factor in if it's a smart buy, if it's whatever, but I'm also not, like, spending my last $200 out of $250 to buy them. You know what I mean? But so I wasn't trying to fill a void. I really did need shoes. But then at the same time, there was those feelings of getting a new pair of shoes, waiting on them to come, wearing them and having people be like, oh, hey, wow, those are some really nice shoes, and all this shit that comes along with it that, yeah, I was kind of falling into it a little bit, but I didn't really act on it because I'm like, okay, I don't need any more. Luckily, I've done some mindfulness work where I know my self-worth doesn't lie in material possessions. But to the average person, maybe they don't even stop to think about that. Maybe they're just like, man, last time I had a new pair of shoes, I got a lot of compliments and I got a lot of attention and, it felt good. So I'm going to buy more. But we still do have to buy things and we earn money to spend. So it's another balance key. Like, just be mindful of, like, what we're doing, play the tape through, be kind of smart about it, and allow ourselves to be a little frivolous sometimes. I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
No, there isn't, but it's, it becomes a slippery slope if you start relying on it to make yourself feel better. That's why addiction
Right.
is an addiction.
Totally.
Is you get a taste of that and you're just like, shit, well, this is an easier way out, so I'm just going to stick with this. It's harder for me to actually do it the natural way. So
well, that's if you're doing it just to escape yourself. If you're going out and buying a couple things because you really like them, you want to use them, that's one thing. But if you're just like, okay, I have more than enough things I haven't worn, but I need to go out because the swipe of the card gives me a dopamine spike and the trying on new clothes gives me a rush and I'm not me for a minute, like, then yeah, I mean, we got problems. If you're out doing that, not you, but if someone's out doing that, then they already got some shit going on they need to kind of look at. And yeah, all the things you're saying, like, totally apply.
So what I mean, like, is when we just literally identify with form, and form is what, like, stuff, materialistic stuff. Form is thoughts, external things. Thoughts are words like symbols and stuff. When we form ourselves into those things. But if we look underneath that, beyond that, it's like we're literally everything. And we keep confining ourselves into that small thing. I know for me, it's like, it's not as much as materialistic stuff anymore, but I put my worth in my accomplishments.
Mm-hmm.
And that's form. That's another thing of materialism. Because I will not feel good on the day that I haven't accomplished anything. I'll only feel good when I do. And just realizing that puts me in even bigger funk just knowing it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, because as soon as I do feel good about it, it's like, well, shit, now you know why you feel good, so it immediately gets taken away. But yeah, it's like, I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Oh, neither. No, I totally can feel you there, because everything was rolling real good for me for a minute. Got a song done, got good reception, things going really well at work, podcast is booming, right? And then, I don't know, just the last few days, the numbers for the podcast have been so low. And, the last few episodes have been really low. And I haven't written any songs in a while. And then we tried to pod last night, and I felt like an idiot. I'm just blank, and I'm tired. I worked, I had a busy day. Any of these things separately don't mean anything, but when you pile them all together, I just remember walking into work this morning, just ooh, just thinking about last night and feeling like I'm a pod failure. And then just, it's crazy how quick that thought can become a mood, and then bring out the old mopey me who's not good enough or whatever. And then luckily it doesn't last long, but it's there and I see it. And even walking in, feeling it, I was like, bruh, nah, we're not doing this today. And then just shook it, because I understand, it's not, that's not where my worth defines, you know what I mean? But it's kind of weird, because then even coming to do this tonight, I'm like, is it going to be another night where I don't have anything to say and blah, blah, blah. And that's why earlier we were kind of overthinking, should we try? Nah, whatever. And I'm like, let's fucking hit record, man. If it comes out, it comes out, whatever. But these are all things that I feel apply to my recovery. These thoughts that come in, these self-defeating thoughts, these moments of humanity, these times where I'm doing my best, my best is nowhere near a regular day for me, can bring a mood with it that is just oh, and it just sucks. And if I want to feed that, if I identify with that thought, that shit takes a life of its own, and if I don't not identify with my thoughts, that thought leads me to relapse. You know what I mean? Because one bad thing happens, I have a new agreement that I suck. I feel defeated by it. It affects my feelings, my thoughts, and my actions. And then I want to check out because I don't feel as on point. I don't feel worthy. I feel like, why the fuck not? And thank God for just awareness to see that, to see, damn, look how funky your mood just got over one thing. There's a reason for it. There's multiple reasons why these things have happened. But I can take on the agreement that it's all because of me. It's a reflection of who I am. It's the new normal. And this is how it's going to be forever. And just make that be like, well, fuck that. I'm not going to do this.
Yeah. No, really thinking about what it means to identify with your thoughts is just, I really have to break it down, because, it's a voice that says something, and it's something that actually exists. it's an actual person talking to you,
Mm-hmm.
telling you these things that are 100% true, apparently. And you have to believe it and you must believe it in order to get better, quote unquote, better your life. And if you don't, you're gonna like die basically. And it's so crazy how like that voice can be so powerful, but when really it's literally nothing more than just background chatter. And the background chatter is composed of conditionings from childhood that were I forgot the word I'm trying to use.
Ingrained?
Yeah, no, kind of, but whatever, it doesn't matter.
Chiseled?
Yes, that one. Through people that had also those conditionings, so generational trauma, generational conditionings, and it's all just like bullshit. And also societal norms and whatever else. Yeah.
Can I tell the people how not special they are real quick? All right, check it out, y'all. All right.
Way to just interrupt my...
You said, oh, so yeah. I thought you were done. My bad, go ahead.
No, it's okay.
You ain't have nothing. You was done. You did the pass. So yeah. All right, so hold on. She was trying to save y'all, but it ain't happening. This is how not special you are, right? No thought you have is your own. None. Every thought any of us ever have is a regurgitation of some other information. Like,
Holy shit.
yeah, and I can't take credit for that because you know what? I heard that somewhere before.
Mind blown.
I forgot all about it.
It's not your thought.
It's not my thought.
No.
No, I just pick cans up off the side of the road and then throw them at you. That's it. Nah, so like when we're younger, you know, you think we just come out of the womb and we're like, oh yeah, like this is what life is, or this is the sky, it's blue. No, someone tells us the sky is blue. Someone tells us, I love you, so then we say, I love you too. You know, we use these labels to identify these thoughts, objects, feelings, whatever, and then we start developing concepts about what things are and how things are and what they should be and shouldn't be. Now, there are... I don't even know if I could say there's original like ideas and concepts because everything for the most part has been done, you know, and if it's not something brand new, it's a collection of other things. Like these ideas I have are from my like learnings of Don Miguel, Eckhart Tolle, Sadhguru, like experience living in the shit, probably hearing some shit from a rap song and a fucking Bible verse and, you know, a Playboy ad. Like, I don't know, like shit just from everywhere compiles in here and it just gets formed into some mesh that comes out, but it's still influenced by something. So like, I feel like you really have something. So I'll wrap it up quick. So these thoughts that pop in my head are not there, you know what I mean? What pops in my head? It's what do I hear an actual audio voice? Is it just words scanning across my brain? Is it just a feeling that I attach and give these word labels to? So, but what is it? And it's all it is recycled information that's just coming to the forefront of my attention. Just, oh, you suck. Like what? Like, why do I suck? You know? Oh, because I have an opinion that someone who does this sucks. And like, well, who the fuck are you? You know what I mean? Like, if I'm talking, who's listening? And if this brain is talking and I'm listening, am I responding as the judge or the one being sentenced. You know what I mean? And it's all this shit happening, all at the same time. It is my judgments. It is my, sentencing. It's my idea, but it's from another idea. Like, it's just this, like, Inception, multi-layer matrix shit, If any, I just,
What?
I just fucked it all up. Like,
no, you didn't.
No, I'm just saying, like, the whole thing is it probably sounded like a bunch of hot mess, but if you're with me, hey, like, cool.
No, it's pretty clear. But no, I was just gonna... It was just stupid.
It was not... Who's saying it's stupid? You? Or the voice in your head?
The things that I've heard over time being told to me that I've said. But, no, it's just like, when you were saying that we are our thoughts are a combination of everything we've heard somewhere, over time, accumulated, like, we're just basically, our thoughts are just nothing but a representation of our experiences. But those experiences don't really mean that much.
Huh?
If that makes sense. Am I making sense?
I don't know. You might want to break that one down. Can you bring it back a little bit and drop it? I really didn't get that because it's... That's one little titty I gotta see one more time. Hey. What's going down? What's going down? Do we have one more titty? I like these random titties. This is fun. I feel like it probably is going to sound like a hot mess just because my own judgments, but the voice in my head is probably just being a judgy McJudgerson.
No, dude, it's like just really thinking about it. All these kids, right? When we're born, we're kids, right?
Yeah.
And we're naturally just like really cool.
Mm-hmm.
We're really funny. We're great. We're lovable. What?
You're banging it on the mattress. It's just going to be like, thump,
Oh, sorry.
thump, 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 thump. Make the bass kick in the car.
Fuck, I forgot.
When we're kids, we're really cool.
But...
Born in sunglasses.
But, then these, like, conditionings start happening due to just people with all these, like, knowledges and fucking these thoughts. And they'll, like, ruin us with them, And it's like... That's not how we're naturally supposed to be. So that just continues to prove to me that naturally we don't need to judge ourselves that horribly or like at all.
So like what you were saying, when we're born and we're cool, and then conditioning start happening, and it's mainly coming from other people, parents, guardians, whatever, just fucking people. So most people break as they get older because we're born pure.
Yeah.
We're born with love. We're born with light. Yes, kids need guidance, like don't touch that. Don't walk in the road. This is what a word is.
Right.
Like put your brown stuff in the toilet. We need to be told stuff like that. But then what happens is people get older and they mistaken their age and experience for authority, right? So then they think they own and rule their children, and what they end up doing is fucking breaking them because they're broken. So people are raised and they're just broken and scarred and fucking hurt and conditioned and just fucking fuck ups. But then they have this false sense of authority that like, oh, this kid is mine, or I know better, and I'm gonna like basically break them the way I was broken to prepare them for this world. And they just snuffed the light out, man. And I don't think, I mean, they're obviously not doing it intentionally. They're just unconscious. It's like we're born conscious and we spend our lives becoming unconscious, only to then try to become conscious. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's it. Like, you know, when we're babies, we just fucking do things, take my diaper off, run around, fucking climb the couch. You know, it's great. I tell people I love them. I don't, whatever. And then I get older and I get into my me, into my ego, into my head, into my shell, into my fucking beliefs, right? And they have their purpose, but I'm not taught how to use them. I just go about it like a fucking blind person feeling around. Then I hit my middle and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this is just not what it's about, right? Then hopefully you go on some type of awakening journey where, you know, you spend your life developing your ego and getting lost in your ego and then just fucking losing yourself. But then hopefully you hit a breaking point before it's too late where you start to find yourself again. And then when you're old, you don't give a fuck. You say what you want. You don't care. You fucking let your balls hang out and fart on people. Like, you just say what you want and you just do it. Because you know, like, there's no point anymore. Like, you don't, so you're awakened again. That's not to say, like, there's not old, you know, conditioned people or inappropriate, but what is appropriate? What, you know, they're just being, you know? It's like this just, we got it backwards, man. We think we don't know shit, then we know shit, and then we forget shit. Well, really what it is we are, then we think we know something, thinking with our fucking egos, and it's a dip, and then we forget, and then we just become being again. I'm gonna take credit for that one, because I never heard that before. That was the only original thought anyone's ever had.
Who's that talking?
My ego.
But no, like, literally the whole purpose of life is to be born, get fucked up by something, and then getting so fucked up to the point of breaking and having that dark night of the soul, spiritual awakening.
Yeah, hopefully you do break.
Right.
You're lucky if you break.
Yes, because if you don't, you're just gonna constantly, you know, you're gonna, so like, you're born, happy childhood, blah, 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 a couple things happen here and there, and you're just steady, like, you're the whole life. But then, like, people like us, like addicts, people traumatized, like, we go down, and then there's only to go up from there. There's only up. There's no, like, more way to go down. I wish people.
No, but you could stay there though.
Well,
if you're not, if
you can only stay there if you don't hit rock bottom, and you'll just plateau.
Right.
You will hit rock bottom before awakening completely because nobody wants to go through the process of spiritual awakening without that shit.
Yeah.
If they think they can get away with just plateauing, like, motherfuckers will. And how many people we know that have been in and out of meetings, have been in and out of, you know, recovery, just trying to get away with just going steady because it works for them.
Well, I know normal people that plateau. They don't hit the major lows, which don't give them the desperation to rise above even their flatline plateau, you know?
Right. And the people that do end up getting into spiritual awakening, it doesn't matter what it looks like from the outside externally, how bad it gets. Inside of them, they'll hit the rock bottom. Like, even if it's somebody who doesn't use, who, you know, just whatever, that's something that has happened to them, they're just like, man, like, I don't think I can go on like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna work. And, you know, looking at my rock bottom, I mean, I still had things under control. I still, you know, but there's some side of me that I felt like I'm at my low. I wasn't, like, homeless, I wasn't, you know, but just, like, I feel like there's something different out there.
Right. Well, here's the thing, like, so I feel like everybody goes on a path. You know, at first we're unconscious. Even when we're growing up, before things get toxic, before any trauma happens, we're still unconscious.
Yeah.
Because we don't know. We don't even know that we're unaware. We don't know what awareness is. Like, at first we're kids, we're being, because we don't know any different.
Mm-hmm.
Then once we start knowing shit, we don't know that we know. And we don't know when we don't know. We have moments of presence, but we're completely unaware of it. We don't even know what it is. So I feel like when someone's leading towards their breaking point and their bottom just before their awakening, they don't know, and they're just hitting a point to where they're desperate. If you're lucky, you'll find shit like presence, being, awareness, awakening, mindfulness, like then you at least have a chance to know. Like, okay, now I know when I know and when I don't know, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then it becomes choice, you know, because I can totally, if I go down a road of self-destruction, I will be aware of it. You know what I mean? I feel like we can probably lose our presence if we just get too caught up in the story. And maybe I won't be aware that I'm unaware. You know, if I just stop doing the things that work for me, I might slip back into some type of unconsciousness. But I think for the most part, I will have moments and flashes of knowing what I'm doing. And I will be making the choice to self-destruct. Because before, yes, I had I have total accountability over what I did and what I've, you know, the life I lived. But I was not aware there was another way.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know. So if I want to get sorry for myself later and just scorch the earth beneath my feet, then that's going to be a conscious choice. And it's not going to be fun, you know. I can never see a relapse being fun for me. Like, it will be just, I will constantly be aware of what I lost, you know.